Remembering the Past is a volunteer-led charity which is based at Lillian Skills Centre in North Shields, and our work is all about encouraging people in and around North Tyneside to share their memories and their experiences and contribute them to our community archive, which we share with the wider public. We got involved with the Women in Shipbuilding project primarily to engage with people and to collect stories. The reaction of people who came to see the exhibition to the photographs was immediate, and we were hugely lucky that we managed to find some people who had direct links to family members, to women who had worked in the shipyards during the First World War.
I heard about the Women in Shipbuilding project, found it online and realised that we had some information that might be really useful, and a photograph of my Nana Craig, who was a footballer, but we also knew she worked in the shipyards many years ago.
When I saw the photographs, I made the connection with the photograph that I had that had puzzled me, to be honest. I knew who the people were, but I didn't know why they were in a uniform and what they were doing.
So once we found out about the project, first of all, I phoned my sister and said, let's get involved in this. And she went to see the exhibition as well. And we shared the photograph with the team. And we're very proud to be able to do that, because there she is, and she's part of, and I'm part of history now because of this photograph.
The older lady is my great aunt Mary, and the younger woman with her on the left is my great aunt Bella. I knew them both, Bella more so because she lived in Wallsend and never left Wallsend. Mary Ann had an exciting life and emigrated to Canada, but she did return to Wallsend, and I did meet her. Well, I knew that my grandma was in employment in service in Wallsend, but I didn't know about any of her sisters or aunts or what they did. And so the photograph had puzzled me as to what they were doing in it. And so I solved the mystery and found out that they actually worked in the shipyard.
Originally, I knew very little. We were just excited when my dad showed us the photograph that she played football. We didn't quite know what context that was in, so we went and found out some more, and as part of the project, we understand that working in the shipyards at the time was a real important role because it was heavy industry, it was a vital role. And for us, our little Nana, who was less than 5 foot, a great Nana, gave us tea and cakes, but she worked in the shipyards as a young girl doing this hard work, and I just find that incredible.
The North East and the River Tyne has a rich industrial and maritime heritage, and this previously unrecognised history is embedded in the physical fabric of the region's communities, and also the industrial heritage of ships still lying on the seabed around the world.
We are here today at the former site of Swan Hunters shipbuilding site. As you can see behind me, the area is a lot different compared to what it would be in the First World War. The photographs held by the Imperial War Museum, taken by Horace Nichols, detailed the work and lives of women shipbuilders. Many of the photographs detail women working on the different tasks involved to assemble the ships, such as core drilling, working on the caps and laths, the counter-sinking machines, operating all sorts of different machinery.
We had so many responses and comments about the clothes that the women were wearing, the obvious differences in attitudes to health and safety.
Auntie Bella must have only been 16 to be doing that kind of heavy work. It's quite amazing, really.
You know, they're working in hot, sweaty, dirty places with machinery that probably could take your arm or leg off. Anything could have happened. But they were there, and the photographs, they look happy, but they look very focused in a lot of them as well, because obviously for them it was really, really serious work.
I think there were hundreds and hundreds of women doing this work during the war. And what's surprising is how little it was talked about afterwards. Never had any idea that any of my family did anything like that.
In terms of my nana, she never talked about it. We've got photographs of her with us. She gardened a lot. She loved looking after her grandkids, but she never talked about this side of her life. I mean, we were only young, but I think now it's more important to see the role that women had in the shipyards in those days.
Mary Ann, in that photograph, was already a widow from the war. Her husband was a miner who was signed up and was killed. Bella's brother, Mary Ann's nephew, had worked in the shipyards. He was 18. He was killed in 1916. So, yeah, you can imagine how they felt and how they wanted to help the war effort, because they had personal experience, and no doubt they wanted it to come to an end.
I think in our collective memory of the history that has been written, it's always been told from the perspective of women working with the armaments, particularly munitions, so the fuses, the guns, the ammunition, and really the story of women who worked in the shipyards has yet to be told, and I think this is why the project is so important.
It's important now that women see engineering and this sort of job as absolutely acceptable and open to them, and going forward we want to see more women in engineering like she did. She set the groundworks for it, and for me that's really, really important. It's recognised and it goes forward from there.
There's been such a positive response to the exhibition, and I'm sure it's just going to be the starting point for further inspiration and exploration into the role that women have played in maritime engineering.
As a woman, I think it means an awful lot because of the fact that she was doing this and it wasn't normal, it wasn't known, and I think the fact that we've now uncovered more and that history is there for others to find, and it would be great if other people can go back and find out what inspirational things their grandparents, and particularly their grandmas or nanas, did.
I think there's still hundreds of people in this area who come from this area, whose families had connections to the shipyards and the mines, and it would be nice to think that something like this had inspired them to find out more about their family history.
Go and look, go and do some research. There's amazing ways of finding things out, and when you find out, it is inspirational to think of what they've done in the past, and it's part of you going forward. Groundbreaking. That's what we should try and be.